Okay, so let's talk about Facebook ad structure. And I want to center this around something called a big promise. So I'm just going to put BP here for short. And the reason I want to center this around a big promise is because the truth of the matter is the only way you can really see success with ads, regardless if that's Facebook, Google, YouTube, TikTok, or whatever, is by selling people this big promise better than what your competitors can. Now, what you need to do is essentially find what this big promise is. And it's impossible to know it straight out of the gate without really spending money on advertising. So, what I mean by this is, what is the thing that resonates with our audience that just for whatever reason just compels them to take action? We need to figure out what that is. So to kind of articulate this a little bit more, I've shown you Boom by Cindy Joseph in the previous video. And everything that we've looked at with regards to Boom has been centered around this big promise. So let's look at one of these articles again. So this is one of their articles which sells their Boomstick Trio, their Boomstick Color, as well as some of their other products and the CTA. Just go and check out their other stuff. Now, the big promise they're selling here is how to bring out your natural beauty at 50, 60, 70 and beyond. That is the big promise they're saying to their prospect here. How to bring out your natural beauty at 50, 60, 70 and beyond. This is something that they have hyper optimized. They probably tried 9 or 10 different variations of this, like, how to look your best at 50 plus, how to bring out your inner beauty or whatever, how to look great even at 60, 70 years old. And then they found that this one actually converted the best in terms of CPL, as well as add to carts and conversions and purchases. But that's the whole point of this here. How to bring out your natural beauty at 50, 60, 70 and beyond. And their products are positioned behind this big promise here. Every single one of their products is positioned behind this big promise that's been spoken about in these 5 steps, for instance. Like, go on and look at our pro age selection. That's what they're doing here. They're promising this outcome to their prospects who's clicked on this link to see this article, and they're positioning their products here as the best way to bring out their natural beauty at 50, 60, 70 and beyond. That is the big promise that they are saying to their prospects. Let's look at this one here as well. So, showcase your sparkling eyes, not your makeup. That is the big promise they are positioning to their prospect. And again, they're positioning their items here like Boom Gold, for instance, like Boom Silk, Boom Cotton, Boomstick Glimmer. They've got all of it right here that they are positioning as the solution to this big promise. So if you've clicked on this link for these ways to have these bold, dazzling eyes, and they're saying to you, hey, look, here's how to showcase your sparkling eyes, not your makeup, and that's by getting these products, they are providing a solution to that promise that they are giving to their market. That's how successful ad accounts are built, especially on Facebook. It all boils down to, what is this big promise that you are giving to your market? So let's look at this in a little bit more granular detail. So one client who I've recently just started working with, they help people buy businesses essentially. And they offer them due diligence services, and they help them just basically make the transition of you forking over your cash for a business to become the owner of that business as streamlined as humanly possible. That's what they sell, right? That is their product, their service. Now, when we were running ads for them, what we wanted to do was we wanted to find out, well, what is the big promise that really resonates with this market? So what we did was we did an ad, which was basically saying, so we'll call this one ad 1. We did an ad that was saying, hey, are you interested in online acquisitions, for instance? Okay, that's more like kind of niche terminology that would go to like a specific audience, absolutely. So we tested that. Instead of banking all of our money behind that, we did 4 other variations. So we did another ad, which was, hey, are you interested in buying an online business? Totally different, same goal, different verbiage. We did another ad, which said, hey, are you interested in buying a SaaS company? It's like a SaaS business. I'm just going to put that there. another ad, which was, hey, look, are you interested in buying an FBA store? I'm just going to do FBA. And the last ad was, hey, are you interested in buying a Shopify store? I'm just going to put SH. All of them had the exact same promise, essentially, just articulated differently. We had no idea what would resonate with this market. Now, the whole purpose of this funnel was to book a call. So the opt-in page was just that, like, hey, go book a call. Out of all of these, which one do you think worked best? I'll tell you, actually. Buying an FBA business. This one booked in significantly more calls. At this time of recording, it's booked in 3 calls at $130 a call. Bearing in mind, that might seem very little, but this is a very niche market and each phone call is worth around $5,000 minimum if they do employ my client services for due diligence to find these businesses which these people are interested in acquiring. This booked 3 phone calls. Others got 1, 0, 0, 0, and 0. So clearly, talking about how to buy an FBA business is what actually resonates with these people. These people, this market who we're looking at marketing to, are interested in buying an FBA business. That is the big promise that they are calling for us in order to help them fulfill. That's what this market is resonating with. And that's what we need to build our funnel around. So knowing this, what we did was we built our funnel around that. So we did some middle funnel content, which we use as ads to basically educate and nurture and to build rapport. Again, making sure that we emphasize on that user experience, talking about all the things that go into purchasing this FBA business. Here's the things you need to take into consideration when buying an FBA business. Hey, look, go check out this blog post we wrote on how to acquire an FBA business. Those things got incredible traction and it decreased the cost per call significantly. That's what I'm trying to get at here with this big promise when it comes to like a Facebook ad structure. You need to figure out what is it that really, really resonates with your market, because they will show you with their own behavior. They showed us in this case through their behavioral intentions that they were interested not in buying an online business, even though an FBA store is an online business, that they weren't interested in buying a SaaS business, that they weren't interested in buying a Shopify business, even though they are the same in terms of online acquisitions and online businesses. Yes, Shopify and SaaS are completely different. FBA and Shopify are kind of similar, but they showed us and said that they were interested in buying an FBA business. Therefore, all of our funnel needs to be built off of this core promise. We will help you buy a FBA business. That is what the core funnel should be. If we look at Boom by Cindy Joseph again, all they have done is what we've just done there. They have told their market a bold promise, bold, dazzling eyes, showcase your sparkling eyes, not your makeup, and position their product as the next logical step. That's what you need to do to succeed with Facebook ads. You need to find what your bold promise is. What is it that really gets people to purchase from you, that gets them to opt in? What is that? And then optimize and build your funnel around that. So from here, you would build your email sequence around this whole proposition of buying an FBA business. You'd then have like your thank you page all about how to buy an FBA business. You'd then leverage your expertise. Maybe you owned an FBA business previously and you sold it and here's what you had to do in order to sell it. And because of that, you know exactly the due process and what people are looking for when actually buying one, for example. But like I said, the whole point of knowing this big promise is to optimize for your email follow-up, as well as optimizing for the future in terms of if you position a product here at the back end. Obviously, with my client here, we can't really do that because it's all like a one-stop service in terms of helping them with like the due diligence. But let's say, for example, that you are a e-com business, right? Let's say, for instance, that you are, for example, Boom by Cindy Joseph. So we need to find what is the big promise that people are interested in. What is the big promise that this market just converts with? What is that? So if we look again here, as we saw, they've got all of these lead magnets. So that would have been one of them. Here's how to simplify your makeup routine. That would have been ad 1, simplify your makeup. Ad 2 could have been, so I'm just going to do SM. Ad 2 to landing page 2 would have been, for instance, 50 pro age makeup tips. I'm just going to do like 50p, 50p. Ad 3 could have been something like the silver hair one, for instance. I just going to do SH. And then we've got like ad 4 and ad 5, just for the sake of brevity. Let's just pretend that this one was for, stunning eyes. And then this one here is for, stunning lips, for example. That's what their top of funnel would be. 5 ads to 5 landing pages with semi-decent headlines, and then just seeing, hey, look, which one of these gets the most opt-ins? Because that will show us and tell us what we need to build our email flow around and what will bring in people on the front end, which is what Facebook is always used for. It is a front end of your business. It should never be the entirety of your business. So they might find, for instance, that with this one up top here, it is, they got 50 opt-ins over the course of 7 days. With this one right here, the 50 pro age makeup tips, they might see that they got 55. So that's more than this one. So they might scratch that one off. This one here, where it's like, silver hair, they might see got 100. Cool. Let's scrap that one there because that one got 55. This one here, where it's stunning eyes, they might see that also got like maybe 110. Okay, these two are doing really, really, really well. And then this one here, stunning lips, they might see only got 25. So they'd cut that one, cut this one, cut that one, and then they would hyper optimize these two because they are very similar in terms of their ad spend. So what would happen? They've got gated content here. They would have an email automation flow, which is optimized for rocking your silver hair and how to look as stunning as possible. And then I have one here, an email automation flow for how to have stunning eyes by using their certain products. Everything in the course of this funnel up until that person bought would be optimized behind this core promise. How to rock your silver hair, how to have stunning eyes. That is how an ad is won on Facebook, by finding out what this Uber promise is, fine-tuning it and tweaking it like crazy, and then sticking it into a hyper-optimized funnel, which emphasizes this big promise even more and more and more. So you know full well after they've done the silver hair thing here, if we just get rid of the conversion sign here, after they've done the whole silver hair thing and purchase via the links in the email, for instance, so say, for instance, they purchase here, they'll then maybe go into an upsell, which is like, again, which is optimized. Like, hey, look, if you thought like this was good, one thing that goes great with your silver hair is by having stunning eyes, for instance. We highly recommend you get the eyeliner, for instance, or the eyeshadow, for example. That's what they would position here. Here, for instance, they might do the same thing. Once you've purchased the eyeliner or the mascara, they might go, hey, look, if you've got silver hair, here's something great that will help with that. You see where I'm getting at here? Facebook optimizes mainly for user experience and the strategy that you bring to the platform. It's not mainly about the ads anymore. It's mainly about finding what is that big promise that just satiates and just converts your market like crazy. Let them behaviorally indicate they are interested, and then optimize and build around delivering on that Uber promise and showcasing and positioning your product as the thing that delivers on that promise. That is how you win with Facebook. That is how you structure a Facebook ad. You find what that winning promise is, what resonates with your market, and then you just optimize the living heck out of that. And that is how you build a Facebook ad. It's as simple as that. If you didn't know what your bold promise was, or as David Ogilvy would call it, what your big idea is, the thing that you are articulating to your market that solves their hair on fire problem and delivers on that big idea or that big promise, that bold promise, that Uber promise, regardless of how great your ad is, it's not going to convert at scale when you're competing with the big boys. It's as simple as that. So that is how you structure your Facebook ad. Split test and find out what is that big promise that people just want to convert to. Like I said here, for instance, run 5 ads. See, for instance, these 5 ads do 5 big promises. Which of these big promises converts the most? Which gets the most opt-ins for that lead magnet? Is it the one at the top which got 50? Maybe the one at the bottom got 55, again 100, 110, 25. Once you've got one that clearly works, build your entire funnel around that concept. Position your product, position your service around that concept. That will allow you to then scale that ad to 100 to maybe even $1,000 a day. That is how you win with Facebook ads. Finding that big idea, that Uber promise, optimizing the living crap out of the ad and out of the landing page to maximize your ad dollar, and then just watch the cash register ring. Make sure you also optimize your email flow that comes after that, and that your product can actually deliver on what this big idea and this big promise is. And that's essentially how you win with Facebook. It's as simple as that. So I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, stay safe. Bye-bye.